So on Facebook, I was asked about the sign machine and what it is I'm using. So I just figured I'd show you guys. Here in the shop, which is an absolute mess right now, there's a lot of changes happening. So starting off, we're putting a new metal roof on because we've had leaks in here for years. This entire building, let me give you kind of a view of the size of this one area. So years ago, this entire building used to be an auto repair shop, and over the years it was added on to. And then when we got the building, we started allowing property investors that we worked for to store stuff here, and things got out of control, and we ended up with, you know, probably 2,000 square feet or better of space that we couldn't do anything with. So we're slowly pushing them out. If you see these windows here, that used to be the exterior wall. There's a whole nother section of the building over there that goes from the front all the way to the back, and then plus, which you can't see, which I'll show you that in a few minutes. But as far as the signs, this is what I'm using right now for CNC. This here is the X-Carve, and I actually just learned how to use it. Now, I'm not completely dumb in this stuff because years ago we had a vinyl shop, so a lot of it just kind of crosses over into using this, so I was able to start using this pretty quickly. On top of this, though, we do have a vinyl plotter, which can be used if we need it. My daughter's going to start making decals with this. Again, a lot of organization still has to happen in here. We have this giant 48-inch plotter, which we only got because it was part of the package deal when we got this one. So I use the CNC. I use this big drum sander. I do believe it's 22. Yeah, it's a 22-inch drum sander. We got a heck of a deal off of Facebook Marketplace for this. And then over here, you have a compound miter saw. You got the planer, you got the joiner. This little router table right here, it's just something I mess with from time to time because I am going to be incorporating the router into our big work table to make it more accessible. A little bandsaw down there, which again, it needs to be replaced. I do use the big rigid 12-inch compound miter saw quite frequently because even though I have this fancy one over here, I could take that outside, and I would much rather work outside than in here because I like the outside. We have a big table here. This thing is on big pneumatic tires, so it can be rolled outside to use. And this whole mess has to be gone within the next 2 weeks. We have a giant laser printer that's going to be moved into here, or not laser printer, laser cutter, because we're going to start making barn doors completely burned with designs. So all of this has to go. We've got 220 wiring being put in. We got to cut holes in the wall for the ventilation, for the cooling system. So there's still a lot going on in here by itself. Plus I've got the Sawmill, which you guys see in my videos, the Max SM32, great entry-level machine. It is my first and only sawmill I've ever had, only one I've ever used, so I really don't have anything to compare it to, but I do not regret that at all. I have right here is a stack of cedar slabs and walnut slabs, which generally there's ventilation blowing on them, and down there on the floor is like a 100-year-old red oak log that was just cut up. That stuff's completely dry. But all this type of wood here will be used on signs. Here in a minute I'll take you out and show you the sawmill real quick, but again, if you've seen any of the videos I've posted lately, it's on there. So as we're expanding, you know, and reclaiming the building, so in here we do have a little fitness center set up. We got TV, we have music, we have treadmill, we have weights, pull-up bars, dumbbells, kettlebells. I mean, you name it, it's in here. I'm not going to go back there because that's a lot of other people's personal belongings. But as I said, you know, you're in the back section of this building that we still got to get cleaned out. And again, it goes all the way back up to the front. So once all this stuff is cleaned out, we'll have a lot more room to expand on what it is we're doing, get a little more organized. Right now, it's just been a matter of getting people to come get their stuff or we throw it away. So that's pretty much that. And then, as I said, I mean, you guys all know, of course, that we do have the Mech-Max, which I like the Mech-Max. We did just recently take some damage from that tree up there. It fell, well, part of it fell and hit the Mech-Max. We had to cut a bunch more of it down just to, you know, alleviate any other risk of damage. We do still have quite a bit more of it that needs to be removed, but it does belong to the neighbor and it belongs on the other side of the creek. So they're not going to do anything with it, so we're going to have to get a boom lift and or a bucket truck or something in here to cut it down, and then there's another one also. But as far as the sign making, that's pretty much all there is to it right at the moment. There is a lot of sanders and stuff you don't see. There's literally boxes all over the place. There's another one. There's another one. They got tools for various different types of wood projects, CNC stuff, sander stuff, the whole 9 yards. Over here we have right now the dinosaur computer controlling the CNC. That is getting ready to go away. We're gonna have a mounted laptop over there on that here shortly. That way the stack of stuff back there, that's all different kinds of vinyl. Some of it's holographic, some of it's just regular Oracle vinyl, some of it's fluorescent, some of it's reflective. That's all that stuff is back there. The shelves you see here with the bear, it's all different little projects that I whipped up just for the heck of it and then threw them back there on the shelf. There's always something being done in here until probably 11 or 12 o'clock at night. It's only so quiet in here right now because everything is shut off, just so I could shoot this video to answer the question about what I was using to make the signs. The signs right now are all being done with the CNC. Yes, they could be free-handed with a router, but I don't see the purpose in that when I have the CNC machine. So if you have any other questions, just throw them down in the comments. I'd be glad to help out with anything that I can. Just kind of keep in mind, I am new to a lot of this equipment. The CNC, we got it a few months ago. I literally just started using it about a month ago, had never ran one before. So that is a learning curve, but like I said, I picked up on it really easy. The giant drum sander, again, I've never used one in my life. Just picked this thing up. I was actually running that giant oak slab through there trying to get a nasty bow out of that. I probably burned up $100 worth of sandpaper in there before I finally figured out what I was doing with it. The planer, the joiner's new to me. And when I say new to me, I've never used them before until here recently. So that stuff's all new. The big sawmill outside, never used it before. It's all been a learning curve. Now I have been around the construction industry and cabin maintenance and stuff like that, commercial building maintenance for years, but I still have never gotten into this style of woodworking that I am now, but be more than glad to help you out with that. The comment section's free. Good or bad, put them down there. I do know the shop's a mess. You comment on that all you want, but at the end of the day, even though this is a complete and total disaster in here right now, it's completely functional. It may not have all the room in the world, but it will shortly be plenty. These chairs are getting ready to be redone. They're going to be repainted, reupholstered, because we're building that table there, which is going to be a farmhouse table. It's going to end up being stained with a mixture of a cherry and oak style stain that'll be blended together and put on it before it's sealed up and shiny. It's going to be gorgeous when it gets done. The base of it is going to be kind of an off whitish color. That's what color these chairs are going to end up being once they're done. So that's all going to be out of here. The stack of tubs you see back here, we ended up getting about 100 of those to sort out other people's belongings that were in this building. A lot of those are what's left over. We're going to end up selling those off. This stuff here, I really have no idea. I got to find somebody to buy that big plotter and get it out of here. The rest of this stuff I could find places for, but I do know in 2 weeks the stuff will all be gone, even if I have to throw it all away, because that laser machine is coming and it will be here. It's going to be delivered to the driveway, a little over 1,000 pounds. So once it's in here to stay. But again, I hope you guys enjoyed this for what it was worth. Hope it answered the question about the machine that was being used for the sign. Like I said, it is just an X-carve. I believe the seat of this is 36, but you could tile through it, as long as you want. It is hooked up to vacuum. I think it's a slow machine. I'm sure there's machines out there that could cut a lot faster than this. But again, I don't know anything about CNCs other than what I've learned using them. But to cut a sign like the one I showed you just a minute ago, it takes about 2 hours, 2.5 hours for it to cut that. Now the depth on that was just shy of 3/4 of an inch into an 1.5 inch board. So I'm sure that has a lot to do with it, but I'm sure there's CNC wood machines out there that cut a lot faster. But that's what I use. Any comments, throw them down below.